If anybody out there wants a packet, I've got three extras if anybody wants. We don't have anything displayed, so I guess I got 4.
Thank you.
Okay, my watch shows it is 2 o'clock, so we will call the Tippecanoe County Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. The first item is not actually on the agenda, but I would like to make a couple comments. First being that if you want to speak, be sure to hit the button on your microphone so that you will be recorded. The second, we have a new member, so I'd like to say welcome to Chris Lowe. And we'll do some introductions, if that's all right. We'll start with myself, Tom Murtaugh, Tippecanoe County Commissioner. Chris?
My name is Chris Kessler, Stalin Kessler Diamond Center.
Julie Cummings, TSC School Board. Chris Lowe, Centier Bank.
Lisa?
Lisa Dellum, County Counselor.
And I'm Bob Plantinga, Tippecanoe County Auditor.
I'm Doug Masson, the County Attorney.
All right, thank you, everyone. And again, welcome, Chris. All right, and then another item that's not on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which you have in your packet. Does anybody need a few minutes to review those? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes. Okay. All right, public hearing and consideration of resolution 2021-02-RC expansion and amendment of the projects for the Southeast Industrial Expansion Economic Development Area. Doug?
So on your agenda is Resolution 2021-02-RC. That's a confirmatory resolution which, once you consider it, if you were to approve it, would affirm the declaratory resolution that you made in June. And what you're doing with this process is considering expanding the existing TIF district to add several parcels and to update the project list to, the primary point is to provide for the construction and funding of Yost Drive. As part of this process, there has to be a public hearing, and so it was advertised, and prior to considering that confirmatory resolution, you'll want to invite members of the public to speak for or against.
Okay, and just for clarification, the Exhibit A, second page, I should say, of Exhibit A, second map, has that area in the lighter color. The northern border is Hagerty. The southern border is the town of Dayton, the boundary. The east border is Dayton Road, and the west border is mostly I-65. There is one variation to that. And then as Doug stated, the project that is being included with this would be the Yost Drive extension from the Hagerty Lane point further south to and stopping at the Dayton town line, with a kind of a cul-de-sac truck turnaround at that location.
Let me make sure I understand this. This is just, it's just to add the Yost part. This has already gone through the APC and approval and all.
And it went through this board
Last month. Not
So
last
this-
month, last time. Okay.
So this is the final step to
Okay.
add those particular parcels to the TIF.
Okay.
There's actually one more step with the commissioners again, as
Oh,
it
is there
turns out.
really?
I think you asked that question and I answered you incorrectly. If this is approved, then the commissioners, because there's an expansion involved with this, then there's final approval of that by the commissioners.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from the commission in regard to that? Any questions or comments from the public?
And there's a sign-in sheet, if you could add your name to that.
Okay, my name's Jen Monaco.
Just turn it on, hit the red button. Oh, I'm sorry, turn to red when you hit the button.
Sorry, there's a lot of buttons. I was gonna guess that one. Thank you. Okay, my name's Jen Monaco, 625 Harrison Circle in Dayton, current town council president. So the town of Dayton received a letter for this meeting, but this is the first time we've received any notification. So I just want to say that it would have been nice to be notified at the beginning of this process instead of at the end. We only found out about the June meeting after it occurred, when it was referenced at an area plan meeting. When I was listening to that meeting, I was like, what are they talking about? What redevelopment meeting? So I had to go back and find that. As you finalize this action today, I want to make sure the record shows that you proceed knowing full well the following facts. Dayton has an agreement with Lafayette that the town has utility jurisdiction over the land bordered by I-65, State Road 38, Haggerty Lane, and Dayton Road. It has been long recognized by Dayton, the city of Lafayette, and the county that the area under discussion now is in Dayton's jurisdiction by the Lafayette Agreement and decades of land use plans. Dayton's land use plan, which was last updated in 1996, has been scheduled to be updated by the Area Plan Commission at the repeated requests of the town of Dayton and even by the county commissioners in their resolution 2018-36. This 1996 land use plan was good enough for the commissioners in its resolution 2019-34 to agree to a joint TIF district with Dayton until we could get all our I's dotted and our T's crossed on adding the area to our own TIF district. The area plan staff report in March of 2020 on the Carr family rezone petition made all these facts clear, noting that the land was in the process of being annexed and the APC staff would begin the work on a new comprehensive plan amendment. The 1996 land use plan that was good enough for the commissioners in December of 2019 made it clear that, and I quote, requests to rezone land for development purposes must be accompanied with written assurance of sanitary sewer availability. Requests in advance of or prior to the extension of sanitary sewer are premature. No written assurance accompanied the Carr petition. The area plan staff report recommended denial of the rezone petition as it was submitted. The Dayton Town Council and the town's area plan representative asked that it be denied. The area plan commission and later the county commissioners disregarded all of these requirements, recommendations, and requests to vote in favor of the rezone. All alluded to the outdated land use plan from 1996. That's the same land use plan that was good enough for the commissioners just a few months prior. Having had the town of Dayton's control over the area strong-armed away unjustly from us, we halted the preliminary engineering work on the planned Yost Drive extension. The commissioners, the Area Plan Commission, and this Redevelopment Commission have now moved to add this area to an existing TIF district. And I just wanted to make it clear now that I have no intentions of giving up that property within this area for a road, and that a road that connected to Haggerty that created a semi-alley in our town is not acceptable. We're currently working on a community development block grant so we can get not only an updated land use plan for the town, but also a complete comprehensive plan. And I think it's unfortunate that for the first time in nearly half a century, our land use plan will not include land that was once included in our own economic development area.
And I will point out that the area that we're talking about is not in the town of Dayton. It's in the county. It's not in the town of Dayton. and that comprehensive plan that was done was even stated that it was outdated by the Area Plan Commission. So, is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Ryan Munden with Ryling, Teeter, and Schreier, 250 Main Street, Suite 601. Our office represents the Carr family who owns property in this area. Obviously, this resolution makes the area more attractive for development, so our client is supportive of this resolution.
Thank you.
I'm Ashley Stevenson. I'm a current Town of Dayton board member. I've lived in Dayton for approximately 34 years. I've served approximately 10 years on the Dayton Town Board at various times. Most recently, I was elected into office in 2005, or 2015, I'm sorry. You know, previous boards had always envisioned Yost Drive, going from Haggerty all the way to State Road 38. It's unfortunately that the current board we have, kind of tried to undo what previous boards had envisioned by, stopping the Yost Drive project from happening. The Town of Dayton previous board had entered into a contract to, $800,000 contract to build that Yost Drive. New board came in, they scrapped that plan, had to pay a bunch of money back to the state of Indiana through the Technical Transportation Committee, NPO. It's unfortunate that the board that is currently running the Town of Dayton, doesn't share the same vision that previous boards have. I would encourage, the county to go ahead with that TIF area. It's kind of Dayton's loss, that we did have an agreement with the county where Dayton and the county would share in that. With the Yost Drive project being scrapped, that sent the county, unfortunately, a very clear message that, Dayton was not wanting to grow, evidently. But I would encourage the county to go ahead and pursue what you're pursuing. I would also encourage the county, I don't know how you do it, but you all could figure it out, but to bring Yost Drive all the way to State Road 38 through the Town of Dayton. I feel that's a very important road. I think that's a great deter from traffic having to go through the Town of Dayton, both on State Road 38 and on Dayton Road. Dayton Road's turned out to be a pretty busy road. That Yost Drive would be a great bypass where we, don't have to deal with the daily commuters going to SIA and other places in Lafayette. So I think Yost Drive going, again, from Haggerty all the way through your new TIF area and through the Town of Dayton to 38 is highly important to the quality of life of people that live in Dayton and have to negotiate with Dayton Road traffic and State Road 38 traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? The only other thing I'd like to clarify is, again, we don't have the authority, nor would we have, the funding, the ability to.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't realize somebody else.
Oh, that's
You go
okay.
ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you there. Just a second. My name is Cindy Marsh, 749 Shady Lane in Dayton, and my husband and I have lived in Dayton for 47 years, 47 and a half, and he is on the town council as well. First, I know that the Redevelopment Commission is focused a lot on development to benefit SIA, And I want to say that Dayton loves SIA. SIA's been a good neighbor to us, and we've been the beneficiary of their generosity many times. When SIA was coming in the late 80s, then council member Paul Winstead stated that we want to keep Dayton as Dayton, even though we're going to grow. And with few exceptions, town councils over the years have been successful with that. And the current town council I know shares that vision, that they want to grow and keep Dayton as Dayton. And the Yost Drive extension with the rezoned land did not fit that vision, as I'm sure you probably understand by now. So we would just greatly appreciate it if you would not undermine the efforts to keep Dayton as you make your decisions on this area. And are you allowed to speak separately at a public comment too? Or if I have something else to say on another subject, should I say it now?
We'll have a public comment.
So I can speak again?
It's not related to this particular topic at the very
Okay.
end. Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you. And I just wanted to comment that, again, this road, the projected roast geode will not go into the town of Dayton whatsoever. We wouldn't have the ability to build a road in their town limits, so it would end at those town limits. If at some point the town board chose to extend that further south to 38, we'd be happy to have discussions about participating with that in some fashion. But, at this point, clearly, they have chosen not to do that extension, and that's obviously their prerogative. But the project we're talking about is clearly not inside the town of Dayton.
So if we were to not approve this measure, what would the implications be then? We would not be able to build the road, the Yost Road.
Right, this project, or these parcels,
Would
then
not be
would
part of
not be part of the TIF.
TIF. And then is the thought that Dayton then at some point would annex the land and then be able to develop it the way that they wanted? Because I know when this came before the APC, and I did vote against the rezone, they rezoned it, and it kind of seemed like that was fait accompli once that happened.
And the plan was, and I think Ashley
So this is
referred to
another
it.
way to kind of stop that development from happening, is to vote against this.
Ashley had mentioned it briefly that, we had done a joint TIF that included the Dayton area.
Right.
As well as the area we're talking about today in a joint TIF. And then the town of Dayton decided they did not want to do
Right.
the Yost Road from where we're talking about, ending it further south. And that was the purpose of doing that TIF. So that's why we're including this TIF in the TIF that we have around it.
And that was after the election in 2019?
It was. It was
Okay.
after the town board. There were changes on that town board.
Okay.
Yes. Are there any further questions or comments? Okay, and this is a resolution, so I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
And do I have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Okay. You want to do roll call? Would that be better?
It would be nice.
Okay. Do you want to do that, or you want me to do that?
I can.
Okay.
Dullum,
No.
Kessler?
Yes.
Lowe? Yes. Murtaugh?
Yes.
So that passes 3-1.
All right. Thank you very much. The next item is amendment to the joint economic development agreement with the city of Lafayette. Doug?
Yes.
So part of the background of this particular TIF district is that we have used the statutory authority with the City of Lafayette to have a joint economic development agreement. It has its origin in the original concern, I believe the City of Lafayette had to put a lot of money into the Subaru wastewater projects when this was created. And so with that as the impetus, the Tippecanoe County agreed to use its authority over the Southeast Industrial Expansion Economic Development Area, and City of Lafayette used theirs over the McCarty Economic Development Area, and the agreement has been to agree on our mutual projects and to half of the money from our TIF goes to them and half of the money from their TIF goes to us, so it becomes basically a joint undertaking. As part of these processes, when we update our project lists, both entities have updated the joint economic development agreements. An additional piece of this is that the original joint economic development agreement was scheduled to expire December 31st of this year, and I believe the desire, at least among the municipalities, is to keep this going. So this would also update that to extend the agreement for another 10 years, which would coincide with the year when the underlying TIF expires in, I believe it expires February 28th of 31, which would be 30 years from when the original TIF was adopted. This goes through the earlier of the expiration of the TIF, or December 31st of 31.
Okay. Questions about that? Do you want me to put it in lay terms?
Yeah.
I thought I did.
To put it simply, the revenues are split equally by the city and the county from this TIF. Okay. All right, any further questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve the joint economic development agreement with the City of Lafayette.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Any new or other business? Okay, public comment.
Cindy Marsh, 749 Shady Lane. I've always thought that the county does a good job with transparency and following open door laws, and I think that's, for the most part, is true. Agendas, meeting packets, and minutes can be found on the county website and the video on county's social media pages. But what I haven't been able to find is the same online information for this redevelopment commission. I learned after the fact that a redevelopment meeting had been held in June, and county employees were gracious enough to provide me the minutes and video of that meeting at my request. There wasn't any public notice for this meeting today that I could find. Am I wrong? I mean, was it posted somewhere?
It was posted here in this building,
Inside the building?
which is what our requirement is. yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That is, you're right, that is the requirement, 48 hours ahead, according to the public access laws. But in the interest of transparency, I think it would be nice if it was also posted on the calendar on the website, which it's not there. Other meetings are, but not this one. And on the social media, pages and on the website and other places. There is a redevelopment commission page, but it's just lists the members, that's all it does. So I'm just respectfully requesting that you consider more transparency options that are available, even though technically you're only required to post the meeting 48 hours ahead. It would be nice if we had some notice and it was put out more than outside of this building.
And that really is good input. I mean, typically this group meets once a year, and that's just to is the term recertify or to continue to collect the TIF increment and to review the projects that are going to be funded for the upcoming year.
Is it a certain day,
It's a certain month.
always in June?
Yeah. It has been later than that. COVID kind of messed us up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it typically is the same month every year, but we should be getting that and posting it as we do all the rest of our meetings. So
Okay.
that's good input.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn?
We're adjourned. Thank you.